Hi, my name is Ashley, and it is for 2015. It is 3:33 a.m. So I'm up really quickly. I'm gonna do a video. I haven't done one in a while. Who am I? I am from Houston. I'm 31. I'm also a victim of a domestic high-tech terrorist group slash criminal organization that has been involved in high-tech crimes in the city of Houston. So, a group of criminals who are from diverse backgrounds, lots of young African Americans, lots of older whites and young whites, supremacists, some of them, lots of Hispanics and Asians operate on a black market network that operates similarly to the Silk Roads. Black market network that was busted a while ago. But these criminals are different. They don't use the internet. They use off the radar communication systems. They use ham radio systems. They use laser like technology systems that allow them to transmit through the air. The criminals have technology that allows them to engage in voyeurism of women and children inside of their homes. They can use their laser-like beams that transmit wirelessly to sexually and physically assault victims. These criminals have been violating the privacy of women and children, and they have been engaging in a new commercial sex industries. These criminals can rape women in their homes with laser-like beams. They also have advanced haptic systems that allow the criminals to actually simulate touch. They can simulate their fingers from midair with just energy. They can finger someone as well as caress somebody's body. They can shove a door shut, or they can knock a glass down on the floor. So these criminals have some really high-powered technology. Anyway, these criminals have been really good about remaining underground. How do I know all of this stuff? Well, I have been a victim of the criminals for quite a long time. Over the last 6 years, the criminals have been terrorizing me, raping and torturing me 24 hours a day, right? The criminals apparently have somebody who operates on the black market network, who is not okay with what they're doing. So these individuals have actually been trying to make people aware of their crime. So they have been grafting these shapes in the clouds with their laser light beam, just to let people know that the criminals are out there and they are engaging in these crimes against me and my family. Now, why would they be doing that for me? Well, I was an innocent victim, and these criminals decided that because they had raped me for so long and because they had done so many bad things to me, that they were going to set me up to murder me. So these criminals actually were able to set me up with a white military guy who married me fraudulently. The criminals were going to pull off an insurance scam where upon my death he would collect. Any smart criminal group has a very smart backup plan. So that backup plan was to cover up the crime by portraying me as the bad person. And that's basically what they have done. These criminals have spent the last couple of years torturing me and trying to depict me as the bad person. They have been slowly torturing me, disfiguring me, and affecting my health. The reason that I don't have my voice is because the criminals have been assaulting me in my thyroid gland every day. They have also been assaulting me in my heart. If you were to see the color of my chest, you would see that it is discolored. I was all one color, but because the criminals have been assaulting me, they have been burning my flesh. If you were to look at my legs look kind of splotchy. That's because the criminals have been burning my pores with lasers. So these criminals rape and they beat and they torture me every day. They isolate me in my home. I tried to get police to address the crime before they started raping me in 2008, but the police actually wouldn't do anything about it. The police continued to try and brush the crime off. I was persistent. The the police, then decided that they were going to silence me. So they started threatening my freedom. Naturally, I had to stop reporting the crime because I didn't want to go to jail. I couldn't afford to be in jail while these criminals were raping me. These criminals have been so smart. They've set me up for arrest. They've had police harass me. They've isolated me. They have monopolized my time. They literally have people logging on 24 hours a day, raping me, and harassing me in my home. I am not permitted silence. These criminals have dedicated a lot of time to brainwashing me. When their victims are sleeping, these criminals are actually performing hypnosis on their victims. So while I'm sleeping in my bed, they are chanting in my ear, as well as using their neurotechnology that is wireless and non-invasive to put me in a hypnotic trance-like state. These criminals affect their victims' behavior. They affect their victims when they are asleep, just as well as when they are awake. These criminals are involved in human rights violations, and right now, no one is doing anything about it. These criminals have ruined the lives of not just me, but also my family members. These criminals basically are smart. They're not involved in just the sexual exploitation of women and children. They're involved in frame-ups. They set up crimes. They brainwash their victims. As quirky as that sounds, understand that these criminals have some advanced technology at their disposal. They can ruin someone's career. They can get someone fired. They can, set up an interaction. They can give someone a congenital heart disease. They can give someone a thyroid disease by assaulting them over a period of time. They can make somebody ugly or pretty. They can give someone cancer. These criminals have beams that transmit, cancerous and non-cancerous forms of radiation. Now, why isn't this crime being addressed? Well, there's a lot of reasons. These criminals pick their victims, and they pick them well. They pick poor, minority women and children. They depict their victims as the bad guys. They portray their victims as predators. They portray their victims as criminals. These criminals even portray themselves as a vigilante group. In addition to that, they often portray themselves as if they are, in place to police our society or doing something positive. In our society, the only individuals that can police crime are police. And guess what? The police think that the criminals are the good guys, so nobody's doing anything. Victims like myself who are persistent, these criminals employ resources. I mean, every day, for the last 6 years, these criminals have been raping and terrorizing me. They have had 20 to 40 different people logging on and off all day. Imagine going through your day and having some weird, creepy, aggressive people yelling and screaming and penetrating you with this hot beam in your rectum or your vagina, or sometimes in your rectum, your vagina, your breast, and your head. So these criminals know what they're doing. They know by assaulting me, by distracting me, by keeping me busy, by affecting my health, beating me in my thyroid, penetrating me in my heart, giving me heart problems, beating me in my knees, beating me in my Achilles tendons, by burning my teeth, by psychologically abusing me, by distracting me all day. They can essentially allow enough time to pass until they are successful in killing me. Now, I want my life just as the next person, but what am I to do? I can't fight back a bunch of wireless criminals. They have laser-like technologies. Some nights I'm not allowed to sleep. They stain my underwear by beaming me in my private areas. From the time that I wake up to the time that I go to sleep, they are burning me. These criminals sometimes scar my face so bad, they make me look ugly, so that when I go out and I talk to people about the crime, they are less likely to assist me. Police won't help me because I look ugly. My face is scarred up. I look like I'm some crackhead. These criminals are very smart. They have been applying psychological principles to their crime. They know that per the halo effect, if a person looks ugly or is unappealing, that people are not as receptive to them as if they are pretty. So these criminals make sure that they burn me up, scarring my nose, sometimes my eyes. I don't look like this. Most of the time I look like a dog, and not even a pretty one. These criminals, in addition to that, they are very smart about what they do to their victim. They make sure they keep their victim non-working, non-socializing, non-money having, and essentially in an environment like I'm in, where there are urban people who won't do anything about it. I worked for my life. I worked for my career. 2008, I graduated college, and these criminals waited on me like predators. And they had a plan in place. Their objective was to kill me. And because, they are smart, they had a backup plan. Their backup plan was to essentially flip their crime and turn me, the good person, the victim, into the patsy. So I have